they're the ones who are at peril. They're underserving a huge market who aren't interested in indoctrination, who aren't interested in the correct ideology. They're interested in entertainment.
What's up, y'all? So this past week...
I was clearing my throat. And now you're going to put it in there.
Please put the mic back. All right.
Let's start the video.
What's up, guys? This week, a lot of stuff happened and released. A lot of movies released. Some did great, some did bad. And at the same time, this is in Hollywood and the blockbuster movies that happened. But then also at the same time, the Daily Wire did a red carpet premiere for their movie Terror on the Prairie, starring Gina Carano. And this movie's been in production or like in the works for a couple of years now, ever since she was let go from Disney. Rob Schneider was at the premiere, and he had some things to say about it. We're going to react to lots of movie stuff in this thing and talk about this story. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
So I don't know anything about what you're about to show me. I don't know anything about Terror on the Prairie. But I did see a thing that talked about how Top Gun Maverick is the first movie to reach $1 billion since 2019.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick reached $1 billion in just a short order in a few weeks, and
That's
it's
exciting.
the first one since I guess that was Endgame. Endgame
Was
reached
it?
$1 billion.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Top Gun Maverick, which is like no woke messaging whatsoever, winds up ballooning and going like over $1 billion.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, good movie. And Buzz Lightyear, or Lightyear, the movie, Lightyear. Chris Evans, Captain America, he was the voice of Buzz Lightyear. And there was a big to-do about this movie because there was a same-sex kiss scene in this movie.
In a kids movie?
In a kids movie, yeah. So it's female on female kiss scene. The door opens and it's his partner. Like she's coming home and greeting their daughter and her wife, and they hug up.
Did you see this?
And they kiss. I've seen clips of the scene. I did not see the movie.
I have two family members that went to the movie thinking it would be fun the way Toy Story was fun, and they ended up walking out because they're like, this is just a stupid kids movie.
So, a couple things.
But they didn't say anything about this.
Right. So they originally they cut the kiss scene. They just had him hugging in the door. They cut the kiss scene until Pixar's employees like revolted and was like, how dare you? And their words was like, how dare you cut out an overtly gay intimacy scene, like kiss scene, an overtly gay kiss scene. Like they wanted on there like that they felt were horribly offended. So they put the scene back in the movie. It was banned in Saudi Arabia and China and all these other places. They banned this kids movie because of this scene. And a lot of people came out against guys like Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire because Ben Shapiro made a tweet that just said, kind of heads up. It wasn't like framed weird or whatever. It's just like heads up. If you're going to go take your kids to see Buzz Lightyear, there's a same-sex kiss scene. This is part of, and he even says this is part of keeping the norm with Disney's not at all secret gay agenda, because that was what their like head up said. People just rail Ben Shapiro as like this homophobe, whatever kind of thing, because it's just a kids movie and you can't get over a couple of cartoons kissing or whatever. They railed on him about it, and then this is what Chris Evans said about people who they asked him. He was in an interview, and they asked him about the pushback that this is going to get. And this was his response. This is what he thought about people who were pushing back on this.
Chris Evans was Captain America, right?
Yes.
And he did the Buzz Lightyear voice instead of Alan.
Tim Allen?
Tim Allen.
There's no way they would have Tim Allen. Even though Tim Allen is just right of center, he's not really like super conservative. He's way too conservative to be...
For most of Hollywood.
For most of Hollywood, and particularly Disney. So Chris Evans, although he played Captain America, is definitely not conservative. He's super, super liberal in all his stances. Yeah. So let's look at what Chris Evans' response was to people who have pushback against, say, taking their kids to see a kid movie with a same-sex kiss scene in it.
Do something about representation or diversity or whatever, there's always pushback. I mean, how would you counter that, I suppose?
Well, I mean, the real truth is those people are idiots. I mean, I think throughout history you can see every time there's been social advancement as we wake up. I mean, the American story, the human story, is one of constant social awakening and growth, and that's what makes us good. And you know, when that happens, there's always going to be people who are afraid and unaware and trying to hold on to what was before. But those people die off like dinosaurs. And so, you know, I think the goal is to pay them no mind, march forward, and embrace the growth that makes us human.
How very nice and reasonable of him.
He's such a reasonable guy.
Yeah.
Those people die off like the dinosaurs, and they're just idiots.
Yeah.
Pay them no mind.
Yeah.
That's super tolerant.
Yeah.
Like incredibly tolerant of them.
Could you imagine if that's what you were saying about him? Like, he's stupid. He'll die soon. Just like...
Yeah, imagine if I was like, hey, guys, by the way, Chris Evans is in...
Idiot.
And don't worry, folks. He's going to die off like a dinosaur.
Like, it's just... People use progressivism as a character trait to, like, a virtue signal type thing, when sometimes it's just...
Do you think he knows that he's a cisgendered white guy saying these things? He's not allowed. And he's got a beard. Outside of his social views, he'd look like a lumberjack.
Yeah.
On looks alone, I don't think he's allowed to say that.
Well, maybe...
Oh, but he's saying it about conservatives. It's okay.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe he's someone who is a performative type, and he likes to have his opinions known, and if that's the only opinion you're allowed to have, that's the one he's going to have.
Or maybe he's an
Idiot.
The interesting factoid about Lightyear is it tanked. It completely tanked in the box office. Would you expect that it would tank when the lead star does interviews like this and is so reasonable and kind and accommodating?
Yeah.
And
well, the thing is, kids don't know or care about his interviews.
Yeah, and the people. And for this, the people that say you're just mad that it was a same-sex kiss, it's like you cannot lie that seeing two women in a room with a child raises way more questions than a married man and woman with their child.
Yeah.
It does, because the woman and the woman cannot make the baby. They can't.
Yeah.
Unless there's another question with your kids, like, so how did you mean she had two mommies? Well, how did the blah blah blah? How'd they make a baby? Blah blah whatever. Unless you're just wanting kids to assume that a woman and a woman can have a baby, like normal biology, and it's like, no, there are some steps you got to go through to make that happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm against over sexualizing our kids in cartoons with heterosexual stuff.
Yeah.
Right or wrong aside,
You're not allowed to say those things.
Right or wrong aside. I'll say that there is a normative for our species, and there will always be a normative for our species. Normal sexual behavior patterns for our species is male to female, which can produce and propagate and produce children.
Yeah.
That's normal for our species and normal for any other two-sex species. So in a way, even in an education academic way, there's not much wrong with promoting the traditional sense of male and female make a baby. That's like just scientific. It's like a small biology lesson.
If you try to say that, someone is going to bring out the gay penguins or something like that and be like, oh, look, these two penguins in a zoo were mates for 20 years.
You find two penguins on a planet full of gazillions of creatures and call that normal behavior, I'm going to say you're a loon. You can't have that big of a minority. That's such a minority of species.
Yeah. I don't think we can talk about this.
We can talk about it. Anyways, it's like it's baffling. People say that it's proof that we're intolerant and that we're homophobic and stuff that Buzz Lightyear tanked. I think it's proof that people are sick and tired of trying to be educated on how bad and awful they are, how woke they are supposed to be in their movies in Hollywood. And I'm not the only one who thinks that. There are some Hollywood alums who think that.
Like I do when I go to a movie, I just want to be entertained. I want to have a good time or feel something. I don't want to be preached at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to, why did this movie tank? Is it because people are just homophobic and intolerant and terrible? Or is it because what Rob Schneider says? Rob Schneider went to the red carpet premiere of the new movie by The Daily Wire and Bonfire Legend called Terror on the Prairie. This was the movie that that as soon as Disney let Gina Carano, who's a very talented actress, let her go for stupid reasons. Stupid reasons. They let her go for tweets that it was so partisan. It was so unfair. And it was, in some accounts, misogynistic because they let their male co-stars get away with all kinds of awful stuff. Pedro Pascal got away with multiple Holocaust references and things like that. She did not, because Pedro Pascal was using them for the liberal side of the left side of the media, and she was using them on a more conservative viewpoint. She got the boot. And immediately, Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, they contacted her and said, how would you like to come do a film with us?
The little rundown that you just gave me about what happened when she got fired and how Ben Shapiro hired her.
Yeah.
Is that just what we perceive to be the whole story? Or is there more to it we don't know about? Oh, I was wondering that because I was also wondering if people more on the liberal side of news heard that she got fired and were happy that she got fired, if they know that Ben Shapiro picked her up. I was wondering if they heard the other side of that.
I don't know that they could know that Daily Wire picked her up and stuff unless they followed Daily Wire, and they probably don't. They probably think that Ben Shapiro is a
I wonder if it's
crazy
reported on
bigot.
their news. Yeah.
But so yeah, here we go. Here's Rob Schneider's opinion of some of the things we said. Why does Buzz Lightyear tank or light your tank, and then a movie like Maverick go crazy, or a movie like Terror on the Prairie get met with great reviews, astounding reviews? And here's Rob Schneider's take on it.
I got a question for you. As a veteran in Hollywood, how do you feel about what the Daily Wire is doing here? It feels kind of like the center of something new.
Well, there is a fallacy in Hollywood of that the only states that matter are California and New York, and the other 48 can just do what they're told, or they don't count. And this is proof that Hollywood is missing out, and they're the ones who are at peril. They're underserving a huge market who aren't interested in indoctrination, who aren't interested in the correct ideology. They're interested in entertainment.
Yeah.
What I love about this is he doesn't have to say any of this. Just ask him, what do you think about it? It could have been the quickest answer on the planet, because he knows that people are going to see this.
Yeah.
It could have been the fastest. Oh, I think it's great. I'm excited for Gina, whatever. But he's going into deep. So that, like a Tom McDonald or something, this is how he feels. Like he's sick of it.
Like I've heard that he was conservative, but I've never heard him give little speeches or anything yet.
Yeah, this is really cool to see his actual feelings on display, and somebody who's a veteran of Hollywood call it out.
And so it's great to see that the very fast growth of the Daily Wire, and I'm here to support that, and also to support a terrific actress. Gina is terrific, and she's I think she was wronged by his system for simply having a different ideology. Not wrong, but different. And if you take a look at, I don't want to say what her former employee, but it rhymes with schmizme. And, Hollywood is always ready for a new blacklist any day now. And they did it again with her. And it was misogynistic. It was wrong. And I support her, and I'm grateful to the Daily Wire to pick somebody up after they were slapped down by a system that same company supported a director who said horrible things. The director from, I won't even mention his name, but the Guardians of the Galaxy director said much horrible things, whereas she was singled out because of a different, quote, wrong ideology. So I'm grateful. I'm here to support the Daily Wire, congratulate them on having good taste, and for supporting, in a way, a very important freedom for artists to continue their craft, regardless of the ideology. And America is sick of that.
I agree. America is sick of that stuff.
Yeah. I think it takes someone who has a platform, it takes a lot of integrity to come out, even though this opinion could only hurt him from getting more starring roles and stuff.
Yeah. Well, it definitely can only hurt him for sure, because and there's so much truth to what he said.
Yeah.
Like it's all very, very true. They're underserving. They're not, obviously, if independent platforms like the Daily Wire can explode with the kind of success they've had, then it's clear that there are a lot of people that are tired of woke messaging.
Yeah.
So in a situation like that, it's like, one of these guys sounds like somebody I wouldn't mind hanging out with, who's got at least a reasonable perspective of, you may not feel the way I do. Your ideology may be different, but it doesn't mean you're completely devalued. And the other guy just sounds like an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, like he's intolerant, 100%.
I like that he really stressed the opinion that it's not a wrong opinion, it's just a different opinion.
Yeah.
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 I think that's very important. I have very strong opinions on, sexualizing children and about abortion. Like, I have very strong opinions, but sometimes I do keep them to myself because I don't want to hurt people.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt feelings. But I'm allowed to have my opinion, and sometimes I feel stifled a little bit. Like, I can't even say what I feel. I think the last 10 years or so, the conservative opinion has not only been demonized, it's been squashed. You're not allowed to serve it up at all.
Yeah. Well, it's been viewed as something it's not.
Yeah.
It's been tied to racism, bigotry, all these things. I think it's a deliberate move to tie it to all those things. When in reality, that's the reason we started doing our podcast, is to show people what a real Christian voice looks like, you know, and that you're not afraid or scared to engage with the culture and call things what they are. Go check out Daily Wire and Bonfire Legend and Terror on the Prairie. Go check out some of their movies. If you like good Western horrors or not even Western, just a good movies. If you like being entertained, I've watched some of Bonfire Legend stuff. It's really good. Daily Wire stuff has been nothing but impressive. I watched What Is a Woman, that documentary. It was great. If you like independent quality content, go watch it. Let us know what you think of the story. As always, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for all you've done to engage with our channel. Keep commenting. We love engaging with you guys. And as always, keep being awesome, because that's how God made you. Let's talk about it.